Hi everyone, it is BDevine and it is a full moon, as we can see here in Gemini. The answers that you need are coming. We are surrendering into the full moon. Now stick around because tomorrow, it'll be today for me, but tomorrow you'll see it. The Akashic records for December, and this is when I go into the Akashic records themselves and I interpret them for you. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when it's recorded live. It's not something that I'm going to pre-do. It's not something that I write out. It's not something that I'm reading. It is something that, oh, sorry, angels are here. It is something that I do on the spot for you all, for humanity, really. And I'll be doing one for December. I'll be doing one for the new year as well. If you're a patron, you also get your own readings for the star signs, because otherwise there's just too many things. If you're a member here on this channel, because I'm allowed to have memberships now apparently, you'll also get like a special reading that's just for private for members, right? But we are surrendering into this energy, surrendering into the divine. And I do apologize about the brightness. There is nothing I can do. I just naturally illuminate. It's like I've got a shelter over the, there we go. See, I'm trying to shield it. It doesn't matter what I do. I can't have one of those crystal clear things because that's not me. I've got this illumination through me and that's just how it is. Okay. The answers that you need are coming. Gemini is focused on communication, as we know, and the way that you're communicating within and the way that you're communicating in your brain and then through your voice needs to match. If in your brain you hate yourself, but out of here you tell everybody that you're confident, there will be a mismatch of energy and problems will begin to come to the surface. If you're trying to manifest something, but you don't think that you can actually have it, you won't manifest it. They have to be working together. This is something for you all to work on an inner level for yourself, where you're saying to yourself, where am I restricting my flow of energy? Where am I restricting this flow? Is it in the way that I'm thinking or is it in what I'm saying? There are other energies that are coming through for this full moon, and it hit us at about 4 o'clock in the morning of the 27th. So you'll probably would have seen this beautiful full moon in its fullness and all its capacity on the 26th, on that evening. I actually woke up at about 3:30 in the morning and the moon was facing me from my bedroom window on the opposite side of the house. And I'm like, why is the moon here? It's meant to be on the other side. It always is. And it was right on. It's just strange, bizarre things have been happening as we shift into this new vibration that we're creating for ourselves. So when you have a full moon, you need to understand the intensity of the emotions surrounding it, depending on where you are on your journey. I'm going to pull some cards from the Moonology deck. And if you're on my TikTok, I can actually have some things for sale on there that I can look up these cards and things and put them in my shop, and then you can get them for this. They have a special deal going on where it's like 30% off for your first order. So maybe you can get some cards that are really, really inexpensive, right? So instead of me purchasing the cards and then trying to get things back, I don't have to ship them. I don't have to store them. I don't have to do anything other than find them in the TikTok showcase and add them to my showcase. So I may do that for us, okay? Good way to get some cards going. Now, I personally don't need cards. I love cards. I've been working with cards for a super long time, as you all know by now. My energy is focused on giving you visuals, okay? Because it's fun. Some people in the comments on YouTube and various places, right? They say, well, why don't you do this for nothing? Because you're gifted, eh? And that is like me going to a hairdresser and saying, well, why don't you do this for nothing? Because you're gifted, eh? So I should just get a free haircut because you should be doing it for people because you're gifted at what you do. That's just not going to work, is it? My time is spent helping humanity. And as I've said to you before, over 90% of my work is free every single day. So that is my gift to people. If you want me to sit with you for hours and weeks on end, you're paying for my time. That's it. I don't mind doing it. I love doing it because you're actually showing that you're invested in yourself, right? But no, you're not paying for me to do this work. You're just paying for my time, just like you get paid for your time. That's how it is. So what we have to finish off in our life here is really important, and something that needs to finish in my line of work and how I do things is putting up with BS for way too long. And that's my lesson on it. It might not be your lesson coming up, but mine is like the people that complain and moan and won't do the work, and they moan and complain and won't do the work, and then they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. It's like, what are you coming back for? You're not going to do the work and I'm not doing it for you. So what do you want here? Magic spell or something? Because I don't do those. This is all about work. This is all about the inner work that we all have to do to get to where we want to be. Okay, so what messages do we need today? Your commitment is being tested. And don't let your past hold you back. How appropriate is that? Your commitment to yourself, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're saying, is it the same thing? Because if I'm thinking, let me help you, but I don't really want to, it's not going to work too well for me. You see what I'm saying? If you say, oh no, I'll go last, but you didn't want to, you're going to feel like a resentment inside of you. Well, I always go last. And my job is to share with you kind of like all the little idiosyncrasies that we do. And how do I know all of these things? Because I've been there, done that. That's how it is, and situations where people are always asking me, because I teach things at my academy, I give things to people, I help people for free all the time. I'm helping people who have cancer, all those sorts of things that are terminal, and or people who are really, really struggling financially. We're there. Me and the academy students are all there to help you, right? And the thing of it is that there are situations in life that you need to catch yourself doing in order for you to heal. So you don't want to let the past hold you back. So if you're always going over in your mind at how someone wronged you, right? Any pain that you feel from that is pain that is unresolved within you, right? It's not really what they're saying to you or how they've treated you or whatever. It's something within you that needs to fix. The South Node talks about the karmic wheel, and it talks about the past energy, and also that you can use it for a tool, using your past as a tool to help you in your future, right? It shouldn't be a hindrance. It should actually give you a leg up in your life. People say that's easy for you to say, Becky, look at your life. Yeah, look at it now. But if you went back in time and saw my life when I was younger, you wouldn't be saying that to me today, because I shouldn't really be here, And I think that there are a lot of people who have judgment on spirituality and they see it as a certain way. And I feel like this also needs to stop as well, because this nearly, with me not wanting people to think that, it was strange what I was doing, it almost stopped me from doing anything. Almost. Until 2009, I'm like, I've got this website name, I'm doing it. And I just developed and developed and developed. Nobody knew who I was from Adam, except for the people that knew me from a small town that I was pretty much a long time. I still see posts from my friends there. But they just saw me as little Becky, like, just someone that was in a crappy relationship with this really violent man that everyone knew was a total, what, and his stupid little Becky with him. Why is she with this guy? She must be an idiot. And I'm sure that people also, we've also felt that, haven't we? When we've seen someone who's with someone that's a total moron, we're just like, God, can't this person see what this is? They must be an idiot. We've held judgment ourselves over other people in their situations, right? We really have. But so what? That's how we grow. We grow and expand by accepting our flaws and understanding ourselves in deeper ways. Acceptance of you is the key for you to be accepted everywhere else you go, if that's important to you. It's not important to me anymore if people accept me or not. What's important to me now is the words that I'm telling you, the mission. The mission is to bring the ancient self forward. You've all got this knowledge in you. You've all been teachers before. Now it's my turn, right? And of course, there's others out there that have been instructed on what they need to do, right? And the energy here is focused on lifting ourselves from any negative aspects of our past and bringing forth the positive ones. So if we were all magical healers in Lemuria, Atlantis, places like this, Mu, if we were all in these mystical realms, and maybe we were all on different planets and things like that, we already know within us what we need to do. It's just that we have been purposely conditioned to not look at anything that is in our wishful thinking or in our imagination. We're not allowed to look at those things because, that would actually give you the answers, and you would leave the control of your family, your home, your religion, your life, or whatever. So by shutting down children's imagination and shutting down their thoughts and their feelings and their dreams and their goals as a wish, or that's just wishful thinking, or you must be crazy to think that's going to happen, or whatever. By shutting those things down, we shut down our ancient self, and then it takes us a really long time to redevelop the skills to understand who we are. And we're doing it on top of all of the conditioning of our past. We cannot let the past define us, right? There is going to be an outpouring of souls on this planet who need help. And if you can't help yourself, if you haven't healed yourself, if you don't understand everything, then it's going to be very difficult for you then, right? It's going to be difficult because there's going to be specific help that is required. And you've got to have the answers right on top of your head. And some of you are fantastic because when it's working with somebody else, the answers are there. When it's doing it for yourself, you're like lost. So your commitment to yourself, to your journey, to your life, to your forward movement, to your ancient self is being tested. We've already done all this before. We have already connected in on these massive big levels. We've had big healing circles. Someone comes with a problem and we've been able to focus on a result, and there it is. We have done all this before. And part of my mission is to bring the ancient self forward. One of the first things that you learn at my academy is just that you already know all of this. I'm just reminding you. Not to mention, as you start to do this work, when you really begin to accept the mind, the way that you're thinking and the way that you're saying things as working together, when you really begin to accept that, then you will start to channel. The information will start coming to you. The situations in your life will change. I mean, there are councils of light out there that are just, there's multiple different types of councils of light from different multiverses and universal energy and everything. Do you know how to connect with all of them? Because I connect with all of them all of the time. And they tell me what I need to tell you, which is great. But that was something I never knew I was even doing before, right? The angelic realms is a small realm compared to what's really out there as well. And these are things that we're sort of learning a little more about in semester 3 of my academy. But your commitment to you is being tested, and you cannot let the past, all the shit that's happened to you, all the people, all the places, situations, your parents, your siblings, your lovers, whoever it is from your past, that you continue to keep in your prison cell, in your brain, up here. They're living up there for nothing. Why? You have to, when you think about these people and how they wronged you, you need to feel sorry for them for a second, for how far they are in their journey, which is not very far. If their job is to just agitate people, that's a pretty crappy job to have as your life journey, is to, agitate everybody on the planet, especially you, right? So just think for a minute what a job that is, and laugh about it and dissolve that timeline. Ask the angels to do it. Look, I need to dissolve this crap from me right now. Dissolve it down. It keeps on popping up its head saying, hello, you haven't finished with me yet. Oh, I'm still in your mind. Wow, you are giving me so much power. And then you shut it down and it's like power gone, mute button. I just literally go, just shut up, turn it off. No more. Thanks for the lessons and the BS. Awesome. It made me stronger, not weaker. Off you go. Right? All right. So your commitment to yourself is being tested. Take control of your past. And don't give a flippant answer about that. Just let it go. Right? Instead of saying, well, it's harder for me. It's not. It's hard for everybody. It is hard for everybody to let go of BS and problems and traumas. And if you need help, and I keep on saying, if you need help to get past your PTSD, your trauma responses from your life and your spiritual journey, maybe scary things you've seen, reach out. Okay? Help's there. You can get past it and you can let your light shine. I'm actually going to do these Astro Star codes today too. All right. I'm going to call in an angel too for us in a minute. Now, if you have really, really thought about this, people love to have 2024 readings. They get their one reading from me a year, and it's this massive reading with all the moon phases and the angels and the different messages and tarot, but breaking it down every month. I'm not going to give it away this year because it just wears me down and I've got too many things to do. But if you do, hang on a second. I think I dropped I did. Wait one sec. Okay. Let's have a look what this is. Review. But if you do want a personal massive recording for 2024 for yourself, you'll have to speak with me about it. Go to my email, talk with me about it, okay? Because it is a lot of work in those readings, like a lot. But people write them out for the year and listen to it. My friend came over and she's like, I've got the whole year that you gave me This is amazing. Oh, look, we keep on dropping cards. Okay, so the 8th house of mystery, that came up as well. All right, so what does everybody need to know? 9th house. Gemini's right there. Full moon in Gemini. I'm Mum Koala. We're doing some deeper work here. Vesta? Capricorn? Aha! See, we're not making this up, right? Here it comes. All right, everybody. All right, we're going to break it down. The 9th house. This is traditionally connected with Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius energy now, so happy birthday to Sagittarius or Sagittarians. It's coming in for you. The 9th house is about expansion, knowledge, spirituality, travel, okay? Going in a different direction. It's like the, can you imagine being around, and you probably were, but can you imagine being around when the balloon, you know, the big old hot air balloon, can you imagine seeing one of those in the sky, right? Like such a long time ago now. But can you imagine that that was like, wow, people were actually able to float in the air, and they were moving across the valleys and across the land, and they were showing, you know, you would go to a fair or something similar, and maybe there would be a hot air balloon spectacular there, right? Can you imagine the awe of looking at someone flying through the air when that was just absolutely the most space age thing that you could actually imagine? The energy of the 9th house is like thinking of your biggest awe-inspiring thing that you could ever see, right? And accepting that this can come into your life as well. Now, some people are like, well, you know, the most awe-inspiring thing I could think of is going into space, and I'm not going to do that. Why can't you travel there in your mind? How do you think that space travel actually happened? You know, they use their brain to maneuver things and shift things. They use their mind to control things, and they were able to do whatever they wanted. Now that's unfathomable now because everything's got to be, you know, science-based, but that's what it was. That's how you move through time and space, is through your mind, through your imaginative energy, and you're actually doing it. Who's to say that it's just in your mind when something happens? Who's to say that you're not doing it? Because if you can get rid of that, oh, what if I'm wrong? I might not be doing it. Or somebody else could. All this BS you tell yourself is just BS. It's your doubting Thomas of humanity. But when I imagine myself traveling to Egypt and seeing myself standing in front of the pyramid and going, hello, old friend, what's to say that I haven't just gone there in a microsecond? Because I have. Does it really have to be like everything you're doing have to have evidence behind it all of the time? Because if you can let go of that, then you're going to really expand. And that's what this is about, expanding your awareness, right? If you can just let go for a second of, we must have to go back. What, someone else's facts? Someone else's facts, okay. What about making your own, getting your own evidence? To me, the evidence is in the life. The evidence is in the healing. The evidence is in having no physical issues at my age. When the doctors tell you you should have, oh, you're going to be going through this and this and this and this. Oh, you're at that age. Well, watch for diabetes and this and that. No way. I refuse to see doctors. And in fact, we have a doctor who is a student at my academy, and he believes that these are medical miracles, what he is seeing. Because he can't, one thing is he can't fathom it's not how he was taught. And then he sees the result and he's like, this is a miracle. When to me, these miracles or medical miracles happened all the time with my clients. I just don't brag about it because what's the point? Right? It's not for anybody else, but these people know who I'm talking about, what they've experienced, how their life has changed, how they a year ago were in a completely different space. Never would have thought it was possible, didn't know how. And they let go of all of that, shaved it away. And this gave them the answers. You can go about it the wrong way or the long way, and people do. And we've all done that until we don't do it anymore. The long way around it is, focus and thought all the time. Always focusing, always thinking, always focusing, always wondering, where's the motive? Oh, I've been hurt. That way, most people don't get out of that cycle. But when you say, what's the point of worrying about that? I'm going this way. I'm opening myself up to opportunities. I'm using my imagination to see my way forward. I'm asking my team to help me. I'm clearing my past. I'm doing the work. I get stuck. I do the work again. This is how it goes. And you'll have what you want and more than what you need. Just it'll be there. Okay. The next part of this is Gemini. As we said, this was the next card, right? Gemini, cross-pollinating. So this is talking about working with others, right? Shifting your vibration, working online, or networking with people, getting ideas from here, there, and everywhere, right? You don't want to just listen to a psychic or a fortune teller or whatever, unless you're actually putting what they're saying into practice, rather than, okay, I'm going to check this reading and this reading and this reading, and if they all say the same thing, it's going to be accurate. That's what I used to do years and years ago. I'd be needing a validation before I did anything. You got to stop doing that, because your life will be anxious doing that. So the cross-pollinating is getting the information, having a community of people around you that are like-minded. If you're around a bunch of idiots that can totally complain, are violent, are nasty, are criminals, what's going to happen to you? You either have to break completely away and sever all ties, or you're going to end up doing what they're doing just so you don't get in trouble, right? Think about who you're hanging with. I don't really hang around anybody. Me, my husband, my kids, a couple of friends, that's it. Because anything else is more entanglements people don't need, and I certainly don't need, right? And you'll find that as you get older and you get wiser and you get more open, the smaller your circle becomes. But online, okay, it's great to have people that you know, or groups that you have, or whatever, because they're all like-minded. And that's what needs to be found now. That's what the Divine Tribe is all about. The Imam Kailai is the root of the tree. Down, 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 down. Your tap roots, right? Where or how you were taught. This is the energy of family. Some people are lucky and have an amazing family life. A lot of people are not so lucky. They don't have any family at all. And the other lot of people have abusive family. You might be the black sheep. You might be the weird one. You might be the scapegoat. You might be the one, if you were the golden child, what you could do no wrong, I doubt that you would be looking at spirituality in this way, right? But if you're here, welcome. You may have been the one that everybody blamed because you weren't around, right? You may have started off with a good life, and then all of a sudden everything went to crap when there was a divorce or there was a loss of some kind. And now that I've had the experience, my own life, to be able to travel backwards in time and have a look at things, I know that when my mother's demise happened was when her father died. And that was when I was about 4.5, 5 years old. Her father died. Her protector, her moral compass, she just adored this man. He was a very, very amazing guy, my granddad. And when he passed away, it was like she went into a tailspin and nobody knew what to do with her. And it got darker and darker and darker, and nobody knew what to do with her, so they just ignored it and turned away. Oh, that's Cynthia. And it got worse and worse and worse until we have this horrendous exchange between her and I. And, you know, I'm the black sheep and also the scapegoat, so I totally get it. But pinpointing that was the moment of the grief coming into her life that overtook her moral compass, which was her father, overtook anything that gave her some decency. Nobody noticed it. So then it got worse and worse and worse. And then you have this miserable, sad old lady with nobody around her and hating every single one of them for not being there, cheering her up, cleaning up, doing this, doing that, because it just showed this ultimate abandonment and rejection. Some people go in that deep, dark space and never come out of it. One time she started to come out of it. When I first started my YouTube, her and I had a pretty amazing experience one evening. And that's another story for another day. But the experience was just undeniably the angels. And it went on for hours, not just a moment in time. And she really got it. Sadly, pushed it all away and went the other side again. Your way of upbringing does not need to define you either. Everybody in your circle has come into your circle with a purpose, and you've got a purpose in theirs. Maybe in a past incarnation. Maybe I was my mother's mother. Maybe I abused her in some way, abandoned her or whatever. And maybe this was the lifetime she was going to get me back. I don't know. But it's also an agreement and a contract. And you have to figure out what parts of the contract you're willing to keep and what parts of the contract you want to dissolve. For me, I ended up dissolving all of it. The only thing that I kept about her connection with me was from birth to 5 years old. That's it. Because that's when it was normal and great. And that's why I really, really wanted her to get back to that spot. But we can't control people. We can only control our life. And we can control how others affect us on the journey. Remember, everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own fast track to whatever it is they're trying to achieve on the planet. Not everybody's got the same journey as you. Not everybody cares about what you're doing. And that's not something that you need to take personal at all. Because that's where the problem lies, is people caring so much the opinions of other people. Sorry, but people just don't really care. And that's part of their journey to awaken in their own way. So you're being asked to look to the root of your being, who you feel that you are as a soul. What do you feel that you've been through? What do you feel that it was teaching you? If you still care about all these people who've wronged you, why? Send love. Allow the angels to forgive. Surrender to the energy and move away. Let the angels take care of it. It takes some time. It really does, because it's going to, when your brain has experienced something that is dark or it's difficult, it will remember those dark and difficult things sometimes, even when you're not even trying to do it. You may get a memory just float on by, and you have to observe it rather than absorb it. Observe it rather than absorb it, and let it keep on floating by. And then less and less will that happen. Emotional flashbacks can be like it's happened on the first time. I often talk about the frozen time conglomerate. And that means that even as an infant, if you were left in that hospital and your mum went home for some reason, you had to be there, as an infant, you don't know that she's going to be back. So it was ripped away from you. You're abandoned and orphaned. That energy, that feeling, that emotion returns anytime you feel alone, abandoned, orphaned, rejected. Anytime it's going to be like the first time, until you catch on to what I'm saying today and are able to heal that baby within you and give it love and say, it's okay. She's going to be back. Just relax. It's all right. And then your reality today changes. Anytime you've had an abusive situation happen, you have to, when you see it, instead of going, oh, I don't want to see this, you need to go into it and you need to nurture yourself. Give yourself love and care that nobody else did, and carry yourself away from that BS, because it really affects you today when you can do that. It actually changes your now reality. And you only need to do it for a second. Okay, hang on. Vesta, goddess Vesta, brings the sunshine into the hearth, into the house, illuminates the aspects of yourself that are born to shine, right? Shows you that you have more than what you know, more than what you're giving yourself credit for within you, and that each and every one of you have all the abilities that you think other people can do. You've actually got it. You just don't do it. And that's the case of it. That is the truth. People have abilities, they just don't believe it. People are connected, they don't believe it. People believe, oh, but I'm like fourth generation metaphysical, so what? Everybody is eternally metaphysically able and capable. We're all psychic, which means all of your senses are open. Some people say they're psychic, meaning that it's something different than something else. No, a psychic encompasses all of the abilities, every single sentience, right? Tience, every single clair, okay? Every, like your mediumship, everything, the ability to remote view, all of it comes under the psychic energy banner. So there is really no separation between, if someone says they're psychic, that they've got it all, right? And some people will say that they're a medium only, right? They're also an intuitive though. They're a clairsentient, they feel energy. They may hear words, clairaudient. So really, in a sense, they may be all of it too, but they just don't see it that way. They feel comfortable calling themselves one thing or another. I don't feel comfortable calling myself psychic or anything like that, even though I'm blown away by what people can and can't do and what I can do. Like, there's nothing spiritual that I can't do. That's because I've taught myself everything. That's not because I'm big-headed. It's just like, well, you've got to know about it in order to teach about it, don't you? You've got to experience it in order to know. It's like you can't sell makeup if you don't wear any, because how would you know? Right? It's the same thing. It's knowledge. It just comes through. Vesta highlights. It's like there's a sunbeam that's coming down from your roof into your living room. Imagine the sun sitting in your living room. How bright everything would be. You probably couldn't even make out one thing to another because the brightness would blur it out, right? What if that was happening right now? And every aspect and dark corner of your life was illuminated, was cleansed and clear, was easy for you to focus and see. Because that's what we're all looking for, is an easy way to something. It really doesn't work that way. There is an easy way to everything, but you don't believe it. So you will naturally take the long way to get to your abilities to open, or to get to your job, or to get to your love, or to whatever. You're going to take the long way because you've been taught that is the normal way of things. But what if there was a light that shines throughout your whole entire space and tells you exactly what you need to do? Would you listen? If there was something right in your face, would you listen then? Most of you would be like, yeah, I got to see it to believe it. It's actually the other way around. Believe it, then you will see it, right? The energy of Vesta shows where you are different, where you shine in your own life and in the lives of others, and to take the steps necessary to never let that light dull and it dulls itself by doubt, worry, fear, anger, hate, concern. I'm worried about my kids, worried about my job, worried about the money, worried about my life, worried about my parents, I'm worried about my friends, I'm worried about traveling, I'm worried about going home. I'm worried about everything. How many times have you done that? Instead of a light shining on your home, a light shining on your children, that your children see their own potentials, that they grow, that they lift, that their self-esteem is intact, that they heal, that they shift, that they get it. How about those thoughts? You know, not using your imagination is a waste of time and energy. It's also a waste of your imagination. Anyway, and we have nurturing with Ceres. Ceres is connected with how you see yourself. I believe that Ceres is a dwarf planet. Wait a second. I am not an astrologer. Okay, I just know I've done this before. Yeah, it's a dwarf planet. It's connected between Mars and Jupiter, after the Roman goddess of the harvest, food, earth, fertility, and mother of Proserpina, abundance, goddess of the spring. When Pluto kidnapped her and took her to the underworld to be his queen, Ceres threatened to starve the world until she was returned. So Ceres is basically the Italian version or the Roman version of Demeter. She's the Greek mother goddess. And Proserpina, right, is actually Persephone in Greek, and Pluto is actually Hades. Because Becky has way too many books that she's read and too much time on her hands, but it comes in handy, right? Okay, so the nurture of the mother vibration. If you don't have a mother vibration, I get it, but you have to give it to yourself. And what it is holding a compassion. So the energy of Demeter or Ceres was like, where has my child gone? She's been taken. And everything went dark and dismal like it does in our life. And so she's sending out a search party. You know, she's like desperate to find her daughter who was in the underworld, right? She was down in the underworld. So my Bluetooth just connected. Hang on a second. And she's down in this underworld. No one knows where she is. She's right underneath the earth. So to Demeter or to Ceres, it's like death has occurred, which is winter, when the darkness goes across the earth in the winter time. And then in the spring, all the flowers come out and the energy of the warmth changes, etc. And a daughter comes back to the surface. So this is the story of an energy of having sudden loss, but then understanding the need for the cycle, because everything can't stay the way that it is forever. And this is what it's bringing up for you now, and also the nurture and care for yourself. You don't need anyone to do this. In fact, you need to have happiness now. Before there's evidence of happiness being there, you need to have love for yourself now. Otherwise, you are going to find somebody who does not love themselves, and therefore you're healing them and fixing them only for them to go on and not really get it because they haven't done the work themselves. And then we have Capricorn, okay, which towards the end of the year, in December, and then at the start of the year, we'll have Capricorn come in as the moons. And then with Capricorn, there's an absolute determination, like nothing's going to stop the Capricorn energy from succeeding. The one thing about Capricorn is the self-criticism, because they have such high standards for themselves. They get that from somewhere. Maybe their dad was really tough on them as a kid to succeed in sports or school or something, and it's like they feel like no matter how awesome they are, they're still not the top of the whole world, so they failed. Like for you and I, if we won a triathlon, we're just like out of this. We're going to be just like beside ourselves, right? Because we've never won any. I mean, this was just come out of nowhere. We win a triathlon. But for a Capricorn who is a triathlete already, and they win the national this and the national that, and the heats over here, and go to Japan and whatever, still not enough because they weren't world champion. They put that pressure on themselves. So the message for Capricorn is drop all the bullshit, because you're going to have an easier way forward. And this is for all of us. Leave all of these, like, I hate myself because, or I don't like this because, or I'm fat, or I'm skinny, or I'm ugly, or I'm gorgeous, so everyone hates me. What? Whatever it is, drop it, and you'll get to the top, to where you're wanting to go a hell of a lot sooner, right? And then we have the South Node. So whatever is taking place in your life right now from the past, okay, there is karmic patterns involved, meaning the people that you're intertwined with in work, in life, or whatever, are there because you were with them before in a past life. In fact, all relationships that we have, not just sexual or loving or whatever, all relationships with friends and with neighbors are there because of past life connections with them. Anyone you know in your life, have ever known in your life, whether it's childhood or whatever, have come from a past life. Some I just have a quick ending contract with you. They might know you as a kid, then you never see them again. Some might have a relationship with you and it might be quick and you never see them again either. Why is that? Because some people come into your sphere, right? Because they need to finish some karma with you. And in turn, you need to finish some karma with them. So therefore, it's short-lived. There are some people that come into your life that they are almost exactly the type of person that you feel that you want to get married to. Almost. Why is it almost? Because if they don't have that same thought towards you, then it's not the right thing. It's just there to show you, hang on a minute, this is what I'm looking for, but even more than that, the healed version of this, right? So your South Node asks you to retrace the karmic patterns in your life, the cycles in your life, the endings in your life and what began because of it, the people in your life and what began when they left, the relationships that you're holding on to in your heart and why, the answers that you want to get given to you from people who've wronged you. You're not going to get them. You just have to know that it was a contract, the contract ended, and whatever BS they pulled on you, believe me when I say it all comes around. That's all you need to know. I used to want to see, I'd be like, I want to see it when this guy's arrested. I want to see it when that guy goes down and he finally gets his just desserts because of all the things that I'd been through with this particular person. And, you know, this particular person I had to go with through court for so many years, just destroyed me because he didn't want me to have any happiness because he didn't have any. Just tried his best to ruin the emotional connection between me and my child, which actually backfired. But at the time, it felt like it was working. And it was, you know, I know what it's like to not be able to see or connect with your child and to pay child support for someone that you do not see. And if you do, it's very strained, restricted. You get doors slammed in your face and you keep on going and you keep on going and you keep on fighting and you keep on going. And I used to want to see that person. I'd be like, I can't wait for the day when karma comes around. And I really hope I'm there to see it. And you know what? It's different when it is coming around. And by the time that it started to come around, I was too enthralled with, you know, things that I'm doing with my son to even give a care. It's like, well, you know what? It's like having blind justice. You're not always going to see it, but you need to know that it gets done. That people have to learn their lessons too. And that those people who've wronged you, as I said before, those people, right, have agreed to do that with you. You need to see it that way. These people made an agreement to do all of those heinous things, even though they're not consciously aware of it. They're just like, well, I'm winning because I'm a, you know what? But in reality, that's a pretty deep commitment to you. All that stuff, you know, that's pretty huge to have committed to bring you pain in this life, to expose your own pain in this life, and to make you fight for what you want. That's a pretty big ask. And they've done it. Everybody that hates you in this world doesn't really, on the big scheme of things, they love you so much as a soul that they agreed to be the villain in this life. Even though they knew you would hate them, even though they knew that it was horrible, though they knew that it was going to almost destroy you. And you knew it as well before you came into this life. They did it anyway. and you agreed to it as well. And when you can see things that way, the bigger scheme of things, as a soul, rather than a human having this experience, right? As a soul on these higher levels, when you can see that, there really are no enemies. There aren't. So don't let these things hold you back. If we see things in this deeper perspective, and we work with the energy of the angels to support us, the angels of relationships, the angels of hard times, the angels of karma, the angels or the lords of karma, right? The angels of our past, the angels of our future, the angels of love, abundance, of joy, of happiness. We work with this energy, meaning the positive aspects of all of those things all begin to circulate around you, because that's what your focus and intention is. Then all of that past stuff was worth something. It had meaning because you got out of it, and you got out of it quicker than what you ever would have thought of. So for Gemini full moon, this is the message. Look at all this stuff, right? We shut down that which no longer serves us, and we initiate, activate, or welcome that which does serve us. And then we monitor the balance between the two. We monitor it. So if this old thing starts to come back and wiggle its little tail at you, that you can dissolve it down, because you know it's just trying to check whether you're still, if you're going to let that go or not. Are you still hanging on to me or what? Are we still together? Shut down. No. Stop. No. And open up to all possibilities. And if more people in this planet did this, holy heck, we wouldn't have all this issue going on. So for my next recording, I'm doing the Akashic Records for 2024. And I will be focusing, for December, and I will be focusing on the Akash for 2024. And I will be breaking down the months as we go along. And I appreciate you helping someone like me to actually be seen and heard, because people like me don't often get seen and heard, because we're actually trying to help you. Isn't that ridiculous? Actually trying to help you and want nothing more than for you to succeed. That's it. You get it, you pass it on, right? But they want you to be fooled. They want you to stress. They want you to eat all the wrong things so that you get sick, so that they can make even more money off of you. They want you to feel anxious and scared and less than good enough and not strong enough in your own skin to handle your preferences. They want you to hate each other and cause division. There I see people sitting on TikTok arguing over the presidents, this one or that one. And they won't see reason on one side and they won't see reason on the other side, and they will spend all day fighting about it. And then it ends up being name calling, which is the very thing that everyone says they don't want. Wasting time, wasting energy, wasting imagination on creating division instead of unity, and calling it right or wrong, or whatever you want to call it. The people who are really trying to help you, I guarantee, have low numbers on in many places. For example, my numbers have been relatively the same for 13 years. Over the last year, I have been able to develop YouTube on my own by 15,000. And that did not happen in previous years since the start of my work here. It all slowed down because they want you to listen to Star Child, or some woman who has a big microphone in front of her face and whispers at you. Just BS. It's not going to help you do anything other than continue to watch when you can learn how to do it yourself. share the proper messages, right? Distraction is the enemy's desire. Sadly, people fall for it. Not this little duck, though. I just keep right on going. And I know that very soon there's going to be a very, very big change on this planet. And everybody will have no choice but to really start to value what's truly important and what's not. Start to work on themselves. Start to value their neighbor, their friends, instead of picking on everybody like everybody does. And peace begins to happen here, because that's what needs to be called for, to stop to all this BS. So I hope that, and it has to begin within you, by the way. The war within yourself has to stop for the rest of the world to also do the same. And then we don't have all of these, this is mine and that's yours, and stay over there and I'll stay here, and all this angst. There's no power in that for the self. In fighting, the only strength that you're going to get is through focus of you, healing you. And this ripples out more than you can imagine. So I will see you. It'll be tomorrow for you, but I'm going to do the Akashic records for I keep saying 2024, but that's coming for December. All right. And I hope that this reading made sense. Sending you lots and lots of love. Okay. Many blessings. Bye for now. Okay.